Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Marvel Monday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Marvel Legends Series X-Men 97 Gambit. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here on the top, we've got Marvel Studios X-Men 97, and then the Wave 1 characters. Nice artwork of Gambit, says Gambit right there. 4 and up. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. Assortment number, Hasbro print. Nice big blister showcasing the figure and his accessories. Then on the back, we have Marvel Legends Series, the X-Men logo. The cross sale of Magneto, Wolverine, Storm, Rogue, Bishop, and Gambit. And then a nice digital render of Remy right there. It says Gambit. Also available. Each sold separately, subject to availability. Recycled print. Attention! Especially don't stick things in your French pie hole. Warning, attention, Octoon, don't stick things in any other language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to baby. Small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print. Symbols I'm not going to learn. A barcode, Hasbro print, Marvel print, other small print, and another symbol I'm not going to learn. And that, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And first up, we have handy dandy tweezers here. Let's take a look at the accessory. We'll start with the smallest accessory, which is a kinetically charged playing card. And it's got probably a tampo here on the front, nothing on the back. I would have liked for it to have a back on it too. That would have been cool. But it's Ace of Hearts, and it looks like it's made in this translucent plastic, and you know, I like it. It works for what it's supposed to be, which is, you know, I'll show that later. And I don't think that's a new piece. I think we've seen that before. This I know we've definitely seen before, and it's probably all molded in this translucent plastic, and these are tampos just like before, and these are probably all paint apps. No, it's a separate piece. Surprisingly enough, the hand is a separate piece from the energy effects. I did not notice that before, unless of course that's a new thing. But nice molded details, and it has a nice cool look to it. But then again, I say that, and then look right here. So I guess it is molded in this translucent plastic, and the glove and fingers are paint apps. Well, here's his staff, and it, you know, it's a staff. It's segmented, nothing we haven't seen in the line before, and looks to be molded all in this color plastic. So again, and even with the figure itself, there's not a whole lot of new going on. The arms may be new. I'm not 100% sure. Now I know this jacket overlay is a new piece, but the rest of it appears to be the Caliban Build-A-Figure Wave Gambit, except for the head. The head is definitely new, unless it's from the retro carded. I don't have the retro carded version, so I don't know about the head, but I think the head is specifically new for the animation. And you know, it does have that animated look to it, But look at the eyes. Nice printing going on there, and this little bit of stubble here on the chin. You know, it does, and even the color of the face really goes toward that animated look, at least in my opinion. Your mileage, of course, may vary. Now, I think the hair is a little bit overdone here, but then again, you know, it goes with that animated look. And the face appears to be a paint app or a printed on piece, and the ears as well. The hair is probably a separate piece glued into place. This is probably molded in black plastic. I'm not sure about this piece. I think the neck is a separate piece, even though it doesn't move independently. I don't think it is a part of the torso, but I could be wrong. It could just be this piece right here that makes it look that way, because this looks like a separate piece as well, and it's molded in this color plastic. And we've got this, which is probably molded in this color as well, and it is a little bit shiny because this is supposed to be an armor piece as far as I know. And then we've got a nice little paint app right here, probably this too. This crotch piece is probably molded in black plastic. Then on the legs, these are all paint apps here. And then the knee piece, yeah, the knee piece and this upper shin, and then the boots, all molded in this color plastic. Some paint apps on the hands for the fingers that are ungloved. And let's take a look at the new overlay. It's not a whole lot different. The shape of it is different, and some of the details here on the back are different because of that. But you know, the collar's kind of similar. But you know, this is what the collar Gambit's jacket always looked like, that I remember, at least, even in the comics and in the animation. So that paint app does go for the belt, or the waist piece does go all the way around, which is kind of surprising with Hasbro. But let's take a look real quick at his articulation. His head is on a ball and hinge, so he can look up that far, he can look down that far. He's got a little bit of chicken neck. He's got some waggle. He can do the full exorcist. At the shoulder, he can raise his arm up slightly past 90 degrees, kind of staying alive looking pose there, ain't it? Then at the elbow, single hinge and swivels around 360 degrees. I forgot that there is a cut at the upper bicep that also swivels 360 degrees. Now, as far as the bend at the elbow, it does get you slightly better than 90 degrees. 360 degrees of rotation at the wrist on an in and out hinge, and the other side is an up and down hinge. So that's neat. Got the standard ab hinge in there. Lets him bend over that far, or lets him bend over at the abdomen. And because of the trench coat overlay, he can only bend back about that far. Straight cut at the waist gives you a full 360 degree rotation, and that's it. If you get the jacket out of the way, he can still only give you that much of the splits, which seems a little limited for Remy. However, he can, let's straighten that up. He can kick forward that far, which is past 90 degrees, so that's pretty good. And then, let's see, he can kick back that far with the jacket out of the way, so not bad. Cut here at the upper thigh for a full 360 degrees of rotation. At the knee, double hinge pinned, and it gives you that much bend. At the mid shin, there is a boot cut, even though it's not the top of his boot, and it does give you a 360 degree rotation. And then at the ankle, it's really tight, but it bends down that far. And dang, I may have to soak this or something. It's pretty stiff. So it goes up that far. So that's really good articulation for the ankles. And then if I can get it back, there we go. And forward facing pin for rocker. Now, as far as that card goes, now the pole he just holds in his hand. Unfortunately, his C-grip hand here is a bit loose. And, well, generally it would just slide right through his hand when I didn't want it to. But now that I want it to, it won't do it. So, in the way this card works, you put it in between his fingers right there, and he's like, haha, the name is Gambit. Remember it, eh? Wait, that's more Canadian than Cajun, isn't it? So, but that, my friends, is a look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Marvel Legends Series X-Men 97 Gambit with the Marvel Legends Series Caliban Build-A-Figure Waves Gambit with Softgood Cloaks via the guy next to him, the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Gambit. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the Marvel Legends Series X-Men 97 Gambit with our final Marvel Legends Series comparison, making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee from G.I. Joe Classified Series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander from Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7-inch scale comparison, from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Marvel Legends Series X-Men 97 Gambit, as far as I can tell, the head and the torso part of the jacket are the only new parts to this figure. Everything else with him we've seen before. The post, the throwing cards, I think even the single card by itself, I think came on the retro carded Target exclusive Gambit. But those seem to be the only two new things about this figure, other than the paint. The paint is somewhat new. And, you know, it reminds me, it does what it's supposed to do. It brings the cartoon X-Men 97 version of Gambit to the forefront. And that's, when I look at this figure, that's exactly what I think. The name is Gambit. Remember it. And, you know, I would say the sculpt on this it's good. I take it back. The arms may be new as well. I'm not 100% sure. But the elbows are single hinged, pinless. The knees are double hinged, pinned. So you guys know, if you've watched my reviews before, you know that kind of, when they mix and match like that, it tends to irk me a little bit. I really don't like it when they do that, but that, I guess, was the most cost-effective way to fit this figure into the X-Men 97 line, giving him a new head and a new jacket and calling it a day. And then again, there's not that there's anything wrong with that. You know, reuse is the name of the game in the toy industry. Reuse these molds as much as possible because the dies are really expensive to make. And, you know, they only last for so many figures before they have to replace them. But it does at least cost down on the sculpting part of it. And not that I'm making any excuses. I really feel like they could have retooled this to be pinless in the knees as well as the elbows. And maybe just updated the sculpt just a little bit. But overall, it's still a good Gambit figure. If you don't have a Gambit, and this is the only Gambit you can get your hands on, then by all means, this may fit what you need. The hair might be a little much for a comic display, but then again, it might not too. But again, overall, you know, pretty good figure. I would have liked to have seen them switch to soft goods for the jacket rather than just remolding or making a new mold for the jacket. But I'm glad at least it did get that much, you know, new sculpt to it. Because let's face it, that jacket overlay is really old, and at least in toy years, and needed to be updated badly. So at least that did happen for this figure. But again, overall I like it. And again, if this is the only Gambit you can get your hands on, if you can get your hands on it still, then by all means, if you need a Gambit, then this is a good one. It's not a bad Gambit. It's not the greatest it could be, but it's not bad. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.